Start of March Madness Day, and thanks so much for tuning in while March Madness is going on.
Seriously, thanks to those of you who are here because there's a lot going on. It's the middle of the day.
Exactly. To the PHNX Coyotes podcast. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah here with Craig. Danielle's behind the Mac. Petey, he needed the whole day because he said he was placing bets on every single game today.
You know, he was throwing shade at you too on an audio podcast that we recorded today. Said Leah's taking another day off. And where's Petey?
Yeah.
Where's Petey?
That feels very hypocritical. It's fine. It's fine. But we will move on without him. Yeah. And speaking of March Madness, Craig, we're going to have some fun today with the first annual ICNT tournament, which of course stands for the Idiotic Coyotes Narratives Tournament.
Yep.
Because in honor of March Madness, and I feel like especially lately, Craig, with all of the arena stuff going on, and, you know, sometimes it ebbs and flows. We'll go a few months without hearing it. But right now with, you know, waiting for the auction to be posted, all the stuff going on, it feels like you can just look at any of our YouTube comments and see any number of crazy things being said.
Yeah,
so.
It's amazing how some of these persist. Maybe it shouldn't be surprising to me, given the state of social media and society. Greater society, but when you're presented with facts, irrefutable facts, and still no, that's not true. I don't get it. It's frustrating.
It is frustrating. So, you know, we're not necessarily going to try and refute them. We all know that these these are all nonsense. That's the whole point. They're all nonsensical narratives, and we need everybody who's here live. We need your participation in helping us vote different narratives forward, and we're gonna find what is the most ridiculous narrative.
Yeah, let's just make it clear we didn't come up with 68 narratives because honestly, we were lazy. We didn't want to expend that much effort. So we came up with 12, and we're going to have play-in rounds. You know, we have 4 number 1 seeds, and I know some people suggested others in the Discord. We explained one of those away. Sorry.
You have to be in the Discord to know.
Yeah, you have to be in the Discord to know what I'm talking about. But we have 4 number 1 seeds, and then we have 4 games that are sort of play-in games to meet those number 1 seeds in the corners of the bracket.
Absolutely. So I think without further ado, we'll kick it off with our play-in round.
Okay.
So let's take a look at our first matchup in the play-in round. This is the matchup. The first one is Arizona doesn't want them. Doesn't want the Coyotes.
Oh.
What do you have to say about that?
I don't know what you can say to that one. Like, I'm sure there are some Arizonans out there that don't care about the Coyotes, but I know there are a lot of them that are. I mean, were you at Gila River Arena during the playoffs?
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that wanted to see the Coyotes. So, I will say that this can be a fickle market. They like winners. But I've also said I don't blame fans for not coming to watch a bad product because we get told by teams, by coaches, by players that it's a business. So why shouldn't fans treat it like a business too and say, when you give me a good product, I will pay for it. And when the Coyotes have put a good product on the ice here in Arizona, people have showed up.
And I also think that when you just go to hockey community rinks around the valley, like, it's not even just about the team and their performance. It's about the reach that they've had and inspiring young kids to play hockey. And you look at, you know, the Kachina program that started and, you know, just the growth of youth hockey here in general, even men's leagues. None of that would have happened without having the Coyotes. And I think that, yes, maybe they're in the middle of a rebuild right now, but most people, like, also, who doesn't want the 4 major sports in their city? Like,
it's definitely a badge of honor. But you're right about the rinks too. When I go to the ice den for Coyotes practices, I'm amazed. Like, days when it's just packed. I'm like,
don't people have school?
Exactly. Don't these kids go to school? It's crazy to see how many people are. They run an incredible ship up there, and you know, I've been to some of the other rinks as well. I mean, I know you guys weren't at the last event that they had the open practice at Gilbert, but That was packed too. It was crazy to see how many people were there. So yeah, to say that Arizona doesn't want them, it's just silly. And it's always coming from outside, from people who have no clue what they're talking about and no read whatsoever on the landscape.
All right, well, the matchup goes against insert tiny Canadian city here is a better market.
Pretty much all the ones remaining are tiny, aren't they?
Yes.
All the ones, yeah.
Quebec City. Who else wants a team?
I don't know.
Medicine
Saskatoon.
Insert tiny Canadian city is a better market. We've heard that time and time again, especially Quebec City. We have to call it out. We could have just written Quebec City here. We just wanted to be a little bit more inclusive of those other markets.
We wanted to throw shade on all the tiny markets in Canada.
And
that aren't getting a team.
Hockey markets, it's not just about the passionate fan bases. It's about corporate sponsorships. It's about TV.
Is that? I thought it was all about fan attendance. You mean that's not the only revenue stream that matters to the NHL?
Yeah.
You mean corporate sponsorships might be more important? Like TV deals?
I mean, look what even how the Winnipeg Jets are struggling, and it's not necessarily even there's not a lack of fans in Winnipeg. There's a lack of corporate money there.
Yeah.
It's not the biggest Canadian city by a long shot. It's less than 1 million people in Winnipeg. So
and Quebec's even smaller.
Yeah. So we have the poll up right now in the chat, everybody. We'll give everybody 30 more seconds to get your votes in, but let us know between Arizona doesn't want them and tiny Canadian city is a better market, who will be the winner.
To me, this is a tough matchup, by the way. I don't know who should win this one.
I know. I'm trying to think which one bothers me more. And I feel like personally, on a personal level, it would be Arizona doesn't want them, because that feels like offensive to me. It's like, you don't know. And also, like, I'm an Arizonan and I do.
Yeah.
So, Danielle, wow, it is. Okay, we're at a tie.
Tight battle?
It's a tie, battle? So we need somebody to break the tie.
Okay.
It's 50-50. We'll give everybody. People keep voting and it keeps going to 50%. Craig, which one stands out to you here?
Like I said, I'm really torn on this one, so we can't give.
It keeps going back and forth.
Is it really just?
Yes. My goodness.
This is getting wild.
I told you this was going to be a seesaw battle.
Holy moly.
I really didn't know what to think on this one. This is maybe the best first round matchup.
Oh my God, it keeps going back to 50-50.
Wow.
Okay, 30 more seconds, everyone.
All right, 30 more seconds, and then we're going. If we have to, we're going to cast the deciding vote ourselves.
Tips the scale on this next one that I see. We're closing the poll. Okay.
You got it.
Somebody has to vote. But good Lord.
That's funny.
Okay, end the poll, because we got it. AZ doesn't want the team. Barely edges out blank is a better market. The votes was 52% to 47%. So very tight race. It was a buzzer beater at the end, Craig, but we have our first winner of our first play-in round.
That's impressive. We're going to move them down in the bracket for us, Leah, so we don't screw this up as we move along here.
All right, Danielle, what do we got for our next matchup? Everybody get ready to vote. We need full participation from all of you. All right, first one here is this one we just talked about recently on the show.
This was fun because this was a thing on Twitter for a while.
It was, and it's I spoke to a random person in Arizona, and they don't know nothing about hockey. Yeah, we had some fun with that with Jason Demers on the show.
People came up with some creative responses for like all the Canadian cities too. That was fun to see them quote tweeting the original tweet. I mean, talk about like lack of scientific evidence. I mean, that's the height of it right there. Like anecdotal proof. Oh, I talked to one person, so I mean, they don't care about hockey. The cab driver doesn't know about hockey, so obviously no one cares about hockey or knows about hockey in Arizona. One of the maybe the dumbest things you'll ever hear.
And you want to know something funny? Like, I'm from Toronto, right? Most of my close friends there don't give a shit about the NHL. They don't.
I mean, they're big cities, right? They're like people have diverse interests, so it's not surprising that you found a cab driver who doesn't know about the Coyotes.
All right, and this is facing off against the new arena is in the middle of nowhere.
This one is a recent. It has made a surge recently because I keep seeing it on Twitter. People like look at the map, they look at the desert right around this plot of land and say it's in the middle of nowhere. So let's correct them, Leah. You live up in the North Valley, so tell us some of the things that are right around it. Go ahead.
Well, you know, we have Desert Ridge.
Desert Ridge is a
massive shopping center.
Yes, it is. What can you find at Desert Ridge?
Well, Target, Kohl's, AMC, DSW,
so the theater there.
Joann's, Old Navy, Ulta. California Pizza Kitchen.
Pretty busy place,
Barnes
right?
and Noble.
Yeah, pretty busy place.
That's like barely scratching the surface.
Yeah, okay. What else?
We also have Mayo Clinic right across the way.
The Mayo Clinic's on the other side of the freeway. That's right.
Yep.
The massive Mayo campus is on the other side of the freeway.
We also have, the TPC golf
What's
course.
That?
It's where the Waste Management Open is held every year.
Yeah.
That
is this a nice area up here, or is it just open desert?
It is very beautiful, and it is very busy, I would say.
Very wealthy, too. There's a lot of wealth up here. There's a lot of corporate bases up here, too.
That Scottsdale Road stretch, it's all the high-end car dealerships on that stretch. And then even just on the other side there, too, at Mayo and the 101, you have a Harkins. You have, it used to be Bed Bath & Beyond, but that PGA Superstore, there's a Whole Foods, there's a Container Store. Like, there's so much right up there, too.
So it's not the middle of nowhere.
It's not the middle of nowhere.
Okay. Should we open this up to voting?
It's been open.
Okay.
So 10 seconds left. Which one speaks to you personally?
This new one is really, it's bugging me because I'm seeing it a lot. So maybe it's recency bias, but yeah, the idea that this arena's in the middle of nowhere is really bothering me. So that would be my vote.
All right. Well, Danielle,
Are we ready to close the poll?
Yeah, let's close the poll because we have a winner. Again, this was a very, very close poll.
I mean, that just shows how good the selection committee was, obviously.
I must say, the winner is, I spoke to a random person in Arizona, and they know nothing about hockey with 55% of the vote. But I would say it was another close contest. So that moves on to the next round, and we will move on to our next play-in. This one is another recent one, Craig. It's the new site is a...
It's too bad Petey's not here for this one because, he could talk about how terrified he is of this risk.
The new site is a flood risk. That's number one, which, in Arizona, where you can count on two hands the number of days a year it rains.
Yeah. And then how many times, how often does it flood here? Like, this was funny because when I tweeted that people were actually focusing on this, I had people sending me headlines of, oh, look, flash flood in Arizona. It happens there. It's like, look, I found that one time when it happened in this tiny area, which wasn't this area, which proves that this is a flood risk. Again, there are other businesses in this area, including the Mayo Clinic. What has to happen before the Mayo Clinic builds? Oh, they have to do flood mitigation. It's just part of it. As Petey noted, he has to pay flood insurance. And he's like, it's never going to happen at our house. Like, I remember when he took the photo of the little puddle that was forming in the rain and said this could be a flood risk. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen in this area. But because of certain elements, you have to mitigate against it. So the Coyotes will do what every other developer in that area has to do.
All right. Well, the matchup is PHNX Coyotes is a shill for the team. Craig specifically gets this one a lot.
Yeah.
That he is paid to make the Coyotes look good.
By the Coyotes, apparently.
That we work for them, that they pay us.
Yeah.
That's clearly not true. I mean,
I haven't opened up my books, so
just look at Petey and how much he complains about defensive zone systems. You think, like, if we were a shill of the team, we'd say, oh, they're doing their best.
They are. Yeah, exactly.
And this one cracks me up because the whole mantra of what we do here at PHNX is trying to make it more fun to be a Coyotes fan. It's not very fun to be a Coyotes fan a lot of the time. So maybe sometimes we're trying to have a positive attitude for that reason. We're doing 5 shows a week every week. But I would say that we are extremely realistic. We're critical. And anyone who thinks that the team is paying us. Yeah. I mean.
You know what else we do? We actually do in-depth reporting on these issues and stories instead of taking a superficial narrative. Oh, I talked to a couple people and running with it. We actually do in-depth reporting to give you nuance. I know that's a lost art in this day and age to actually believe that there's nuance to every story. There almost always is. That's what we try to do for you. We will point out the problems with decisions that the Coyotes make, but we'll also point out some things that maybe people aren't thinking about that aren't necessarily negatives. They could be positives. Sorry if that bothers you. If you want someone who's just going to support the narratives that your preconceived narratives, you have plenty of choices out there in the marketplace, but we're going to continue to do the reporting that's necessary to bring you the most accurate information.
Absolutely. Roaring Forkside, both these competitors know how to carry water, eh? All right. Well, Danielle, I think we can close the voting. This one is a little bit more of a runaway, still pretty close, but flood risk wins with 59% of the votes.
It is a good one. It's amusing me lately.
It is.
And there's still people hanging on to this. There's still people hanging on to the idea that this site could be, the entire project could be threatened by flood risk. Yeah, that's not happening.
We'll have to see how these ones hold up against the number 1 seeds coming. But we have one last play-in round to get to before we move to the main rounds. So Danielle, let's take a look. All right. First of all, we have that taxpayers are paying for the Coyotes arena. This was a huge misconception, especially with the Tempe project. People thought that if they voted yes, that the Tempe taxpayers would be responsible. And we've heard that with this new deal, the structure is going to be very similar. So
yeah, here's the caveat that you have to put on this. People who were going to go into the district, the so-called entertainment district in Tempe, we're going to pay via their taxes. If you used a service there, if you went to a game, if you went to a restaurant, if you went to a shop, yes, your taxes were going to help pay down the debt. If you didn't go, no, your taxes were not going. You weren't going to spend a dime. So all the NIMBYs in Tempe that turned out for the vote that were misinformed and didn't have any plans to go to the district. Of course, they would have gone to the district once it was built, and they would have enjoyed it. But if you didn't go to the district, you weren't going to spend a dime. So sorry.
Well, the matchup is, and this is, I think, a strong competitor. Garry Bettman is defying the Board of Governors by keeping the Coyotes in Arizona. We all know Garry Bettman is acting completely alone on this.
Yeah, he's a maverick. Yeah, he doesn't care what the Board of Governors. Because wait, who does he work for?
He works for the owner.
Yeah, and that's basically the Board of Governors, right? Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, I mean, listen, Garry has been granted some latitude, but the latitude granted him comes from the Board of Governors. So he works for the Board of Governors. And that's one of the things that I don't think people talk about enough about this whole situation. Do the Board of Governors really want to lose Arizona? I mean, there's no question that people are fed up with this situation. They don't want to lose Arizona.
Yeah, and especially the financial situation with Mullet. I get it.
Yeah, but if Garry can show them a path forward, I think the Board of Governors would prefer to keep Arizona. Let's face it, a lot of people love coming here.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll give everybody 30 seconds to vote. This one is actually a bigger gap than I expected. But 30 more seconds to vote. Let us know what you think.
This one's not as close as I was expecting.
Me either. I really thought the Garry Bettman narrative would be farther ahead, but it's actually the taxpayers footing the bill is running away with it. I think especially with the Tempe one.
Yeah, that one's just, probably...
That one stings. It stings still. So, Danielle, I think we can close the poll on this one since it's not very close.
I've seen enough. We're calling it.
Stop the count.
Well played, Danielle. Well played.
Taxpayers are paying for the arena. Wins this one. So all of our play-in winners will face the number 1 seeds in the next round, which we will get to momentarily. But this has been a lot of fun so far. Thanks so much for participating. Please hit the thumbs up on this video while you're here. And we hope to see as many of you as we possibly can this Sunday at our PHNX Coyotes takeover and pregame party at the Four Peaks 8th Street Pub, Sunday, March 24th, 3 p.m. at Four Peaks. Tickets include food and drink, and there is still 1 game ticket available. So we want to see you there. You're not going alone.
Gotta admit, it's kind of annoying me that there's 1 ticket available.
You're not going alone because you're with a bunch of diehards. We're going to be there. The pregame party is going to be a blast. We're going to be on the patio. It's going to be a really nice day outside on Sunday. And what better way to pregame watching the Coyotes probably lose to the Dallas Stars by drinking some beer.
That's not very shill of you.
That's true.
It's not very chill of me.
That's true.
You're right, Danielle.
Yep. Oh, as part of this package, we will guarantee a Coyotes win over the Stars. No,
there
we won't.
You go.
No, we won't.
Oh, man. And if you're a diehard, of course, you get discounts on tickets. So make sure you become a diehard today. Grab 20% off in the locker. Grab your free shirt or hat when you sign up to become a diehard and get access to our Discord where, we have some fun convos in there and sometimes some off-the-record talk that only diehards are privy to.
That's right.
So... yes, and Michaela wants us to emphasize there's still a game ticket left.
1 game ticket left.
Who's gonna get
Just
it?
One.
Who's
gonna buy it?
Whoever buys the last game ticket, I'll buy you a beer at Four Peaks.
And I'll buy your meal.
Well, the meal's free.
It doesn't seem...
and so is the first drink.
I got off
we got
easy.
you. We got you.
And with all that money I'm collecting from the Coyotes, I'm so far ahead.
Well, Craig does have a little extra bonus money from Desert Financial Credit
In the Golden
Union.
Vault.
Yes, from the Golden Vault. And you can too if you sign up for a free checking account online at Desert Financial Credit Union. Get $200 in bonuses when you do it. Something that we haven't talked about enough. And do you have the Desert Financial app on your phone?
I do.
I've heard it's an amazing app.
It is. It's a really good app.
It's like a 5-star app.
It's intuitive, which I like.
Wow.
Like some apps are like confusing.
And in today's day and age, I feel like it's so nice to just do, quick bill pay on your phone, just be on the go. And you need a good app, especially when it's dealing with your money. Desert Financial Credit Union. So not only do they help out with checking, savings account, mortgages, loans, credit cards, investment options, and more, they have a great app. So, and you get $200 in bonuses when you open a free checking account online. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200. It's March Madness. We have all of the TVs going in our office right now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And a lot of people.
And while you're mentioning that, I should apologize to Shane Diefenbach for doubting the Fighting Illini, who were losing early in the second half and now are beating Moorhead State by 22. So you were right, Shane. I'm going to say it on the air. You were right.
There's a lot of people with their BetMGM apps open over there. Petey said, I'm pretty sure that he was betting on every single game today. I know that Shane, I think, put money on every single underdog because it's apparently profitable every single year.
Interesting.
If you're not betting on, the thing about March Madness is there's so many games. Normally, you only care about one or two personally. Why not care about more by putting money on the games and betting over at BetMGM? And we have a great first bet offer right now. Sign up for BetMGM. Use the bonus code PHNX. Place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook mobile app for at least $10, and you'll receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets.
How much?
$1,500 in bonus bets.
In bonus bets, just for signing up.
And placing a $10 bet. Why wouldn't you do that?
Seriously, why wouldn't you do that?
Check out the show notes for full details. And now listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
One new customer offer only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, North Carolina, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
All right, so just to recap, round one, our winners that will be moving on to round two are, and that's from the play-in. So we have the number one seeds who have just been waiting in the wings.
We've got 8 teams left.
But our play-in winners were
8
Arizona.
narratives.
Arizona doesn't want the team. I spoke to a random person in Arizona, and they know nothing about hockey. Flood risk.
Yep.
And taxpayers are paying for the arena. How will those do against these next round of the number one seeds? We will find out.
It's tough because we've got some strong number one seeds, even though we didn't take Major Nelson's recommendation for the number one seed. So
once again, everybody in the chat, we want your full participation. And if you're listening on audio, this is a great reason to tune in live on our PHNX Sports YouTube channel, just so you can participate in the live chat. But I obviously understand not everyone can make every show, but we love doing shows like this where we can involve the chat. So everybody hit the like button on this video. It's time for the next round.
Yeah, I do want to apologize that we didn't promote this more, but let's be honest, in the interest of transparency, we thought we were going to be doing a different show today.
And I'm sure everyone can guess what that is. All right, well, let's go to our first two matchups of this round. And wow, these number one seeds are strong. We have kicked out of Glendale for unpaid bills.
Facing off against?
Arizona doesn't want them.
Okay, we've already explained Arizona doesn't want them, so we don't need to get...
No, but why don't we get into kicked out of Glendale?
I gotta get into this one because it drives me crazy.
This might be the strongest one seed on
I remember the YouTube, when we did the YouTube, the takedown of the people on YouTube who were saying this was still the case, because I literally got to read a text message from Glendale City Manager Kevin Phelps to one person in particular who was really annoying me. And I want to do that again because... there is zero truth to the idea that the Coyotes got kicked out of Glendale for unpaid bills. Zero. Not, oh, well, it was part of the picture and, okay, they won't sign the long-term lease. No, it had zero to do with them leaving Glendale. You want the proof? I'll read that text message from Kevin again. I love the way he signs off on it, too. Craig, Kevin Phelps here. Saw your Friday podcast. You and PD are absolutely correct. The reason we parted ways with the Coyotes was because of their refusal to sign a lease that was 12 plus years in length. Their failure to pay taxes for over a year did not play a role in the decision or the timing of our decision. Hope all is well. Best, KP.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The event that they had unpaid taxes. That is a true thing.
Yeah, it's true that they,
we talked about it.
We talked about that screw up.
It was not a cause and effect with this thing. These are two.
Glendale would have taken them back in a heartbeat if they had said, yeah, we'll sign for 12 years. Would have taken them back.
Yep. So that one, it might be one of the most popular things I see on Twitter, on the YouTube comments. It's just this misinformation that is just ingrained in people's minds and they can't let go of it. It is not a correlation. Yes, the Coyotes did not pay bills.
Taxes.
Taxes. Yep. That is a true thing, but it had nothing to do with the reason that they left Glendale.
Nope.
Nothing.
Nope.
So this is also...
And why did Glendale want to lock them up to 12 plus years? Because the commissioner kept saying, it doesn't work there. Glendale is not a long-term solution. Glendale wanted to lock them up long-term so they had security. Didn't get it. Anyway.
This one isn't close.
This one is not close whatsoever.
And it probably shouldn't be, to be honest.
It shouldn't. I think kicked out of Glendale, they might be a favorite in the whole tournament. 96% of the vote. So kicked out of Glendale for unpaid bills. Moves on. We'll get to our next one. On that same page, we can pull it right back up. We got relocating to...
Insert city.
Insert city.
Do you want to just name these cities that the Coyotes have reportedly been moving to?
Sure.
And I can name some that, like, literally there were reports from credible outlets saying the Coyotes were going to these cities. But there's a long list now. We know Salt Lake is the most recent one. Houston was probably the most recent one before then. Let's stay out west so I can cover all the places. Seattle, Las Vegas. So that's 4. Kansas City is 5. Atlanta. Hamilton, obviously. We missed Portland.
Oh, Portland. Duh, that's a big one.
We're missing something else, though. We're missing other cities. Help me out in the chat. What am I missing?
Quebec City?
Quebec, thank you. Quebec and Winnipeg. There it is. There's the 10 right there. Quebec and Winnipeg.
Man. Oh my God, we sold the final game ticket for the takeover.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Make yourself known in the chat.
Yeah, please make yourself known in the chat because you're getting a beer from Leah.
That's awesome. All right. Okay, yeah, pretty much. And we hear this time and time again, Craig. Like just move them to here, move them to here, move them to here.
Right.
They're going here. They should just go here.
Move to Vegas. They're going to Salt Lake City. Move to Salt Lake. Yeah. So how's this one going?
So that goes up against New Arena is in the middle of nowhere, which I think that one's a little bit of a newer one.
But I thought I spoke to a random person was the winner.
You are correct about that, right? Yeah.
Are we sure about
that? I spoke. So the one it's going up against is not New Arena in the middle of nowhere. I spoke to a random person in Arizona.
That's okay.
And they know nothing about hockey, but it's still a runaway.
We have thrown so much work at Danielle, like in the middle of the show, like it's like scrambling to do 17 different things.
Danielle is doing like that meme.
I'm legitimately sweating right now.
That meme where like everyone's typing on like 4 different computers.
And the winner is La La Land.
It doesn't matter because I think
if we want to stall and talk about La La Land, that would be great.
I think that's
all right. We can just say it. We don't have to worry about this.
I think this one would have been the runaway winner.
Okay, but we have to
anyway.
What? Which one? Relocating to Insert City?
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably would have.
It would have been.
Yeah.
And it's running away with the vote right now. 93% of the vote. So we can move.
All right, we'll
relocating
move on. Relocating to Insert City is moving on to the Final Four.
Final Four.
But we have 2 more nets to be cut down in these next 2 matchups. Do we want to get to these?
Let's get to it. Let's take a look at the next ones. All right. The Coyotes have no fans. This is one that we see in some form again and again and again. And I think it comes for us a lot, like on our show with show clips, because we'll be talking. It's like, oh, the Coyotes only 2 fans.
That's it. Like, to be fair, I mean, the critics say, well, you only have 4 fans. So, so we do have some.
Yeah. Or like, oh, you're speaking to all 12 fans.
Right. Exactly.
That one pisses me off so much. Yeah. It's so annoying. It's so annoying.
Is that going up versus Flood Risk?
It is.
Okay. This is a good matchup here. This is a good matchup with the Final Four on the line. Flood Risk versus No Fans. Well, I mean, we've already talked about No Fans a little bit here, so it's silly. It's just silly. We know that they're there. When this team wins, they'll be back again. You know, the other side of this is like, if they get this arena built, new arenas are such a magnet for fans. And yeah, that luster wears off. But if the timing of their rebuild is right, where they're moving into a new arena, they've got people excited about that anyway, and then the team that Bill Armstrong and co are building is ready to come out of this, it could be a really nice confluence of events.
Absolutely. We're going to put the poll in the chat right now. Everybody, this is going to be a quick one. You're only going to have 1 minute to vote. So,
Flood Risk versus No Fans.
So get in on it right now. Flood Risk, it's a little bit more of a recent one.
There's fire coming from Danielle's fingertips right now.
Danielle is literally crushing it. It's there. Everybody go vote.
Everybody vote.
If I had a vote, which I do not, I'm not voting in this poll, by the way. For me, it's No Fans.
Okay.
I think that one just, it shouldn't bother me, because if something's not true, it shouldn't bother. It's just the fact, it's like, have some originality in your insults.
Yeah.
Like, there's an insult every once in a while where I'm like, you know what? That was clever and original. But the No Fans one is the most unoriginal, pathetic, like, insult you can possibly throw, and it's just laughable.
I think that's why I don't really want it to win, because it's just kind of dull to me. Like, when I see those comments now, I look at the person tweeting and I think, oh, you're a dull mind. You're not very creative. So Flood Risk to me is new. It's fresh. It's my Cinderella. I'm kind of rooting for Flood Risk to get into the Final Four, because nobody's expecting it. It's new on the scene. It's a new program.
I like it.
But here it comes. Flood Risk is coming hard.
Timothy said, I want Flood Risk. We need an underdog. Caleb said, for the memes and the accuracy, it needs to be Flood Risk.
Can you imagine what we can create? Like, we could have like the interior of the bowl with fans just being swept away by a flash flood.
What's ironic, Craig? There is an NHL arena that's flooded before.
Oh, yeah, there is. Where is that? Is that which country?
Oh, it's in Canada, actually.
Oh, it is. That's right.
In Calgary.
In Canada.
Yeah, in Calgary. All right, we can close the poll.
We're getting some blowouts
can still
here.
Smell it,
yeah,
by the
this
way.
one was a landslide. No Fans wins with 86%.
It was a nice run for Flood Risk.
We'll see. I mean, they're in the Final Four, but
it could be back next year.
We'll find out who their matchup is here.
An Elite Eight appearance is not bad, right?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
So let's get to our final of these matchups before we get into the Final Four. And this is a strong contender. Hockey doesn't belong.
You have strong thoughts about this one, so fire away.
I feel strongly about this one. I just don't understand why someone would say that. First of all, I don't think there's any place that you can say hockey doesn't belong. Because if you're sitting here loving hockey and wanting other people to love hockey, you want to grow the game, where in the world could you possibly say hockey doesn't belong?
I mean, it might not work in Pakistan. Just thinking aloud here.
The question is, will it work? Does it belong?
Okay.
I think it can belong.
It can belong anywhere.
In any community of people.
Look at stats, Leah.
Okay. It can belong in any community that wants it. And I think that Arizona and people in Arizona, people in the Southwest, we've seen it with the success of the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah, and the growth of the youth game. This matters on so many levels. Like, when I see the narratives about, they never should have gone to the Sun Belt. First of all, how do you think they're getting the media money? And granted, the NHL is not the NBA, and it probably never will be in spite of some agents screaming that they should be matching the NBA. No, that's not understanding the sports landscape in the U.S. The NHL is not going to be the NBA. But when you expand to more markets, you bring more media markets in, and that means more money. You know what else it does? It helps create a greater pool of players, which is why the narrative that expansion is bad because it'll dilute the player pool is just insanity. Like, what are you talking about? The game is so much better, and the player pool is so much deeper than it was in your precious 1993 or whatever you're looking at. The game is better. There are more players available. Expansion will not dilute the player pool. Sorry, not true. But then when you look at Arizona in particular and why hockey belongs here, it's growing. The game is growing here. We've talked about USA Hockey stats for so long, and for a long, long time, Arizona was just perennially top 5 in growth. It's not top 5 anymore. It's still number 7. It's still number 7 among states in youth hockey participation growth. Hockey absolutely belongs here. Oh, but you know what else we have now? We also have a Division I program at Arizona State University. Got all kinds of levels of hockey. Yes, it does belong here. And it's been fun to watch it explode from the time I arrived and there was no NHL team and just a couple of ice rinks to the Coyotes, tons of rinks around the valley, not enough still to support this massive number of kids that are playing, and now Arizona State. It's really cool.
It's really cool. Also, the whole notion of, it needs to be cold for hockey to work. When you are in a cold climate and it is December and you walk into a hockey rink and you don't even take your jacket off, in Arizona, you know what? Like, what better place to go in the summer than a hockey rink?
Yeah. Like wait, it needs to be cold? People are actually saying that?
No, but I think that's why people say it doesn't work, because they're not a cold place. Actually, I would argue the opposite, that it works especially because it's warm here and sometimes you want to get out of the heat.
Who's the best team in the NHL right now, do you think?
Like currently at this moment?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say like Vancouver.
Okay.
But...
I'm going to go with the Florida Panthers.
Oh, yeah.
They're the best team I've seen this season. Does it get cold in Miami? I don't think it gets cold in Miami ever.
By the way.
And who left Canada to go to Miami? It was a big name player. I'm trying to remember.
Oh, Matthew
Tkachuk. That's right, Matthew Tkachuk. Yeah, he did leave Calgary to go to
By the way, the
Florida.
Stanley Cup final matchup last year, Florida and Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Love it. The Sun Belt matchup.
So what do we got for voting here between taxpayers are paying for the arena and hockey doesn't belong in the desert?
This one was another big disparity. Hockey doesn't belong in the desert takes 66%.
Wow. Okay.
Of the vote. So
not a great Elite Eight. Hopefully we'll have a better Final Four here. So who's playing who in the Final Four?
So in the Final Four, we're gonna have
here goes Danielle. Fingers flying again.
No, Danielle, no rush. We'll recap. We have no fans versus hockey doesn't belong in the desert in one, and then we're gonna have kicked out of Glendale for unpaid bills versus relocating to blank. That is our Final Four.
If you could pick a small Canadian city to get a team, which one would you pick?
Like, because I'm being serious?
Yeah, like if you, yeah. Well, I mean, we can debate the viability of any of these small cities, right? Like if Winnipeg is having trouble and Calgary's having trouble, why wouldn't an even smaller city in Canada have trouble? But like, if you could like pick a place where you want to see NHL hockey, where would you go?
Halifax.
It's my choice too.
I think that the farthest east that has a team in Canada is Montreal. Yeah. And there's a whole region of Canada out east that they're in their own time zone. I know there's people who watch the show in that time zone, the Atlantic time zone, who don't.
The Maritimes are so cool too.
It's so nice. It's so cool.
I would love to see that.
Yep. Halifax and population 480,000.
Okay.
Only a few 100,000 less than Winnipeg.
Okay. So, if you're thinking about this NHL, I don't mean to throw shade at Saskatchewan, but listen, do players want to live in Saskatchewan or do they want to live in the Maritimes? So let's forget about Quebec and let's forget about Saskatoon or any of the other. I don't know. Like I'd be okay with a second team around Toronto too. I think that could really work. But I'd love to go to Halifax, man. I would take that road trip every year if they were playing in Halifax.
I've never been to the Well, I was when I was a kid. I don't remember, but I would love to go. I would love to go. So we'll see. Do you want to do the Final Four voting or do you want to?
Yeah. No, let's do it.
Okay. So we'll do the Final Four voting and then we'll get to the championship. So the first poll is going to be kicked out of Glendale for unpaid bills versus relocating to blank. This is a tough,
nasty matchup here.
Tough matchup. I don't know which one irks you more. I feel like for you, it's the unpaid bills.
I mean, I've had to answer that question far too many times, but I've also heard that everything that you're hearing right now, and I'll grant this, we've reached a point in this situation where everybody's exhausted by it. And I understand that's a factor here, but I've heard so many definitive reports in the past that they were going to this city or that city. I just I look at the people saying it. I'm like, okay. We've heard this before. And again, this could be the final straw, right? If they don't win this auction, I could really see this happening. But I just, I guess the point that I want to underscore here right now is if somebody's telling you they know what's happening, that they're definitely going to Salt Lake City, just tell them to shut up. Because the honest truth is, nobody knows. Nobody knows what's going to happen.
There's no definitives.
I've heard
in any direction.
So many possibilities of what could happen from credible sources. I don't think anyone knows how this is going to play out. If somebody needs to come out with their hot take and tell you what's going to happen, just call them out on it because they don't know what they're talking about.
This is a very tight vote. It's 50-50 right now. Woo. 24 votes. I know there's more than 24 people watching. We need everybody to get voting. This might be the toughest matchup of the bracket.
It might be.
So far.
You could see this team winning it all.
I think the thing about the Glendale narrative is it's only 2.5 years old. It's still old and it still gets old and it's still one that's thrown around constantly. Yeah. But the relocating one
that's fair.
Been since they moved to Glendale in the early 2000s, I would say.
Yep.
Like there has been no security for this team in 20 plus years, which is so exhausting. So for me, I think if I had to vote, I would pick the relocation one just because that one seems to be the narrative that is the most persistent. But again, I do think the kicked out of Glendale one is.
Yeah. I like your thinking though. That's a good point. That's a good analysis of this situation. So how are we looking?
It's 50-50. So we'll keep it open for one more minute. There's more people watching than voting. So please get the votes in.
You got to vote.
Now.
If you're going to be here. Thank you once again. Do we know who bought the ticket, by the way?
I didn't see it in the chat, but also I can't really see the chat right now. So you can tweet at me at Leah Merrill, or if you're in Discord, send me a DM. But thank you for buying the ticket, by the way. All right. Oh, okay. I was about to call it, but now it's 50-50 again.
Next vote wins.
Next vote wins.
Next vote wins. Okay.
Woo,
what we got?
Right.
Wow, what a matchup.
30 votes. Okay. Call. Oh! I said call it. It went back to 50-50.
No.
Oh, wait.
We had one right in at the buzzer.
No.
Yeah, we did.
Oh.
It is relocating.
All right.
God.
Wow.
You know, there's a side of me that was happy to put kicked out of Glendale for unpaid bills to bed.
Yep.
See you later.
All right. Wow. Woo. That was a buzzer beater.
It really was.
That
felt like a buzzer beater.
That was a buzzer beater.
Okay.
Wow. All
this other matchup, you know, I'm going to say this, you know, my scouting report on these two teams is that they're very similar to one another. They have the same strengths and weaknesses. So I'm not sure how this is going to play out. No fans versus hockey doesn't belong in the desert.
All right. No fans versus hockey doesn't belong. These are, again, two narratives that we hear again and again and again. And I think, honestly, this is a strong Final Four. I think if you've been a Coyotes fan for a while, you've heard all four of these. Very curious to see how this one shakes out, if it'll be as close as our last matchup. But we have no fans versus hockey doesn't belong in the desert. We're getting the poll up in just a moment. So get ready to vote. It's up. Get to voting.
It's good to have a buzzer beater in the Final Four, isn't it?
It is.
You want to see that.
You want the entertainment value.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think about this matchup, Craig?
I don't know. I don't know about this one. I don't have a feel for this one. We need Shane Diefenbach to come in and handicap this for us, but I don't think he's here.
No, he left. This one is appearing to be close again. Everyone's saying in the chat it's a coin flip. We're at 50-50 currently. It's going, it'll go one way, then 50-50, then the other way, then 50-50. So get voting. We'll just give everybody one more minute to vote. Man, this one's tough because the no fans one really bothers me, but I also don't want to admit to anyone that it does, even though I'm saying it right now. But I don't want that one to be the winner because I mean, I guess the tournament is idiotic narratives. So it's an idiotic one because clearly there are fans.
I'm ruining the chair, by the way. Sorry, more furniture.
It's just water.
It is just water.
I've once spilled beer, remember?
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it's still 50-50.
Wow.
Nick said, don't you think this one is a similar narrative? I would say it's definitely similar. Timothy said, I went belong because it started on day one. Antonia said, hate hearing no fans in Glendale because there are fans in that city. There absolutely are. I think there's fans all over the valley. We meet Coyotes fans from Tucson and all over.
You remember the fan story that I wrote recently about the team where I had gave fans a voice? There are a bunch of people from Peoria responding to me too. So yeah, they're all over the place.
We have a winner.
Okay,
we do.
Danielle.
What do we have?
No fans.
No fans.
No fans
all
takes
right.
down hockey doesn't belong in the desert.
All right. So our final matchup is going to be no fans versus relocation. I think that's a strong championship.
Yep.
I think if you've been a Coyotes fan, you know you've heard those. Like, if you've been on the internet, you've heard those two narratives. Everybody get ready to vote in the final round momentarily. But this has been a lot of fun. Craig, the other day, you had Taco Tuesday, as you always do. Mm-hmm. Where did you get and from where?
Sunburrows.
And what did you get?
So Tara and I split a taco salad, which you can substitute chicken, and then it was shredded chicken, and it was unbelievable. The lime dressing they have is ridiculous, and it comes inside that shell, and yeah, that was good. But we also, because it's Danielle's fault actually, but I'm addicted to the mini chimneys now. Just addicted to them. The red are my favorite. Chicken are my second favorite. Bean are good too. Okay, I'll stop because I probably shouldn't admit that I'm eating that much.
I haven't eaten today, so you're making me really hungry.
Danielle, how many times have you had some burros this week?
This week, twice.
Yeah, that's
it's
on
Thursday.
brand.
Yeah, twice.
By the way, what better food while you're watching March Madness than to enjoy some Mexican?
Yeah.
Order some burros. So good.
The mini chimneys are just absurd. Like they're just absurd. And you can you can almost convince yourself it's just a snack. It's just 3 mini chimneys. What's the big deal? Comes in this little bag. They don't even present it like, oh, this is a whole meal. Don't worry about it. It's just a snack. They're so
I would
good.
make the argument that Mexican makes everything better. Not just March Madness.
Yeah.
I think it would make everything better.
I mean, I agree with that. So
I may be a little biased, but
it's either my favorite or second favorite cuisine. Like it runs neck and neck. I'm a huge sushi fan too, but Sunburrows does it right.
Sunburrows does it right, and they want to take care of you in March because right now you can get 20% off your order of up to $100 when you use code PHNX at checkout for the whole month of March. It's available in restaurant, drive-thru, and when you order online. Not available on third-party delivery. Visit sunburrows.com.
Danielle?
Yes.
Did you get gas today?
I did get gas today.
Did you? Can you maybe paint a picture of the situation today?
So if you did not watch, what was it, last night?
Yeah, last night.
PD asked everybody to send them their gas gauge when they refilled. And so I sent in our group text 21 miles.
That's really...
Was the light on?
Yeah. The light had just come on. That's actually
30, right?
Yeah, mine is usually, so when I refill, it's usually around 10.
Wow. I respect it.
I do too. I like pushing the limits. I feel like you grow from that, Danielle.
I'm at 70 right now.
Yeah.
I could keep going.
Just keep going.
And I'm going to send PD a picture.
Well, I mean, we should probably mention the real reason that PD's not here now that we know what Danielle did to him this morning.
I think he had to refill on gas like every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Every time he saw a Circle K, he had to refill.
That's true. So he couldn't get anywhere because there's Circle K's all over.
He's at his therapist right now, isn't he? I think that's what's happening.
Oh boy. Well, make sure that you are part of the inner circle when you do stop at Circle K to fill up on gas so you can save so you can save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups when you join the inner circle, 3 cents per gallon all the way after that. Plus, they're always giving away free snacks, free drinks, all of it just by being a member of the inner circle, which is completely free to join. All you have to do is download the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for detail. All right, It's time for the final.
It's that Monday when they always hold the NCAA final. Why do they do it on a Monday?
It's my birthday this year.
Why do they do it on a Monday, though? What do you think they do it on a Monday?
I don't know.
It should. This is one of those days like Super Bowl Sunday that I really feel like it should be a national holiday. We should just give everybody the day off.
This year it's my birthday.
Well, there you go.
So it should definitely be a national holiday if I had to say. So everybody get ready in the chat. We're going to need you to vote because this is the final and the matchup is No Fans versus Relocating to blank. So this is the final matchup. We will discover the winner here. What the Coyotes fans, more than 2 of them, think. No Fans versus Relocating to. What do you got? Who's your favorite in this matchup?
In this, this is a tough one because both of these annoy me. And we named 10 cities. Like there've been some fringe ones that people have mentioned too. Like remember when Hartford was trying to get in on the action? Oh my God! Like to just
Cincinnati came up recently.
Didn't Omaha throw its hat in the ring just recently?
Allegedly, I'm not sure about that report. The truth of that report, I don't know. I don't know where that came from. But yeah, Omaha probably not happening. But there've been other markets as well. Like, remember when Austin was being talked about for a while? I had one of the Coyotes suitors that was trying to buy the team way back in 2013 said, "What do you think about San Diego?" I'm like, I mean, if you move to San Diego, I'll probably go with the team there because it has the best weather in the U.S. So
that's true.
There have been so many rumors. It's just absurd how, and you mentioned the length of it. That to me too is just like, I can't believe we're still talking about this.
I think for me, relocation is a little bit of the favorite here, but the voting is extremely close. Make sure you're letting your voice be heard. I'll give everybody 1 more minute to vote. People, as Paul said, Hartford still is this week. We're hearing it.
Oh, that's right. They're back in it this week. You know, if we want to talk about expansion, let's talk about Europe. Come on, NHL. Let's get it done.
Craig wants to go on a European trip.
I want to tour the European division. Just play all the games in one take when you get over there. They only have to come over once. I mean, I think there's a way to do this. Just
Craig, maybe you and I should,
Garry,
why don't you and I we'll do the scouting, so we'll go on a trip.
You know what? We should offer our services.
I think so. We'll say, you know,
we are shills for the team, but
that's
so
true.
Might as well.
We could just be shills for the league too.
I mean, listen. Oh my gosh. All right. It's still a very, very within 2% close vote.
How much more time are you giving people?
I don't know. We have 37 votes. There's double that watching. So what do you think?
Give them 30 more seconds.
30 more seconds.
30 more seconds is all you get.
All right. Everybody get your votes in. We've all heard these narratives again and again and again.
Feels like a final possession here, doesn't it?
It does.
Going down to the wire again.
It does.
All right, we're closing the poll.
All right.
Right now.
And the winner is?
And the winner
Not La La Land.
No fans.
No fans beats Relocation.
Wow, I think that's a little bit of an upset.
It is. This is like NC State way back when. None of you have any idea what I'm talking about.
That feels like before my time.
Yeah, it was.
Well, No Fans wins the inaugural Idiotic Coyotes Narrative Tournament. And I would agree that the Coyotes have no fans is extremely silly. Idiotic.
Yeah.
And it's unoriginal and it's stupid. And I think that is a worthy winner of the first tournament.
You know, when we saw Coyotes fans in full flower, when Dave Tippett was the coach of this team way back when. And speaking of Dave Tippett, I had a chance to sit down with him for another edition of The Focus. I think it's up now, actually. I think it's up on our YouTube page. I haven't tweeted yet because we had this coming in the tournament. And I think Mac, are you back there? Yeah, Mac's going to take care of that tweet for me a little later. We both agree that it was kind of silly to do it right now. But you can go to our YouTube page and find that interview with Dave Tippett. We talked, of course, about the golden years of the Coyotes. It was far too short. We talked about his days as a player for the Whalers.
Speaking of the Whalers.
Yeah, speaking of the Whalers. Yeah, in Hartford. His decision to leave this organization, his foray in Edmonton, trying to take Connor McDavid to the Cup final. Wasn't successful. No one has been. Petey's talked about that a lot. And then his decision to walk away from the game. It was a great interview. I always love talking to Tip. He's literally one of my favorite figures that I've ever covered. Always had a great relationship with him. He was always incredibly open and insightful. He's a great hockey mind. So you can watch the next edition of The Focus. I believe we have a clip to play, Danielle.
We do have a clip, and just on the subject of arena stuff.
Oh yeah,
of course you asked him about it.
Of course,
because it was a thing when he was a coach here all those years ago. It still continues to be a thing today. So without further ado, here's a clip from The Focus.
Is going to air several weeks after we're taping, so who knows what will have transpired by then. What's your reaction to the fact that the Coyotes are still in this kind of limbo that they've been in? They were your entire tenure in Arizona. Yeah. They're still here all these years.
I haven't kept up on what's going on lately. I have never been to the new arena here. I've never been to a game there yet. I hear it's the atmosphere is excellent, and people that go are loving the small and quaintness of it. And ultimately, I think to be a legitimate NHL franchise, they're going to have to get a new building somewhere. I went through it for years and years, and it's I said all along, as the Glendale arena was a beautiful arena, but it's just logistics wise, it's just hard to get on a nightly basis for where you play, it's hard to get people to commute there.
Mm-hmm.
And so something over on the east side, I always thought would probably be the better solution, or close to downtown, or so whether that comes to fruition, I'm not sure. I don't know where the process stands right now. I after I went through about 10 or 11 orders, I said, I'm out. I'm not going to watch it anymore. So I don't know where things stand right now, but hopefully, I think that's the key. They have to find a place to get an legitimate NHL arena to play in. And if they do, I think there's plenty of hockey fans here. I think there's a passion for hockey in the Valley, and hopefully they can finally get to a situation where they can get stabilized.
Good convo with Tip, who, by the way, is living in Arizona, of course, because
who wouldn't want to live
so
here?
Many NHL players and coaches just retire here. They love living here. Tip is building, well, it's complete now. He built was supposed to be a sort of a second home, a cottage up in Flagstaff. Yeah, it didn't turn out that way. It's pretty spectacular. He's got some pretty cool amenities in it, but he's living most of the time in Flagstaff now, which is cool. He loves it up there. He loves the golf, and it was, like I said, just great catching up with him. So give it a watch.
Michaela just tweeted
it, so I'll retweet
it. There you go. And I feel like, too, what he had to say kind of was actually a great bow on the conversation that we just had, that hockey works here, that the fans are here. His comment about after 10 or 11 owners, it all feels a little bit too real, but make sure you go check out that conversation. It's up now on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel in the Focus playlist. You can also check Craig's Twitter feed to get the link as well. But absolutely, if you're a Coyotes fan, or just a hockey fan, because it's not just Coyotes that he talks about, go check that out. I'm sure he's enjoying his retirement, and I'm sure once in a while maybe
he's doing a little side work. He's never gonna.
Yeah, I mean, some people just can't stop working ever.
Yeah, and he loves his motorcycle, so.
Seems
just
to
like
be
Andre.
A thing, yeah. Well, after all the talk of all the dumb narratives, I feel like I need to go drink a Four Peaks beer, which, with all the March Madness on, it's a beautiful day out.
We have 2 stocked refrigerators, by the way. Thank you once again, Four Peaks, Cliff, Aileen, for hooking us up at the St. Patty's Day party, and I brought the leftovers downtown. So.
Yeah, we are lucky. We have a ton of Four Peaks here, and we're very excited to drink Four Peaks this Sunday at the 8th Street Pub. So once again, we'd love to see you there. Make sure you visit fourpeaks.com/locator to find all your favorite beers and events. You can check out at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. And you must be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks. Please enjoy responsibly. The saga of my mom getting new flooring is officially done. I went and saw it the other day. It is beautiful. It completely transformed her house. Empire Today, they did such a phenomenal job. She was so happy with the service, with the work that they put in, and it has completely made her house look different, but in the best way. I know getting flooring it's a big undertaking, but I think it's incredibly worth it. And Empire Today wants to make it as easy as possible for you. You don't need to go to a big box store. You don't even need to leave your house. You can do it all right in your home. And they take care of you. They really care about the service, which when you're getting a huge thing done like that, that is almost more important than anything else. So right now with Empire Today, you can schedule a free in-home estimate. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use the promo code PHNX. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/PHNX for details. Anything else?
I mean, we're just waiting, right? We're waiting.
We're waiting.
Like you, we are waiting for the Arizona State Land Department to post the auction publicly so that we can take the next step in this. We will have a show at some point. Hopefully it doesn't happen on a game night. We'll figure it out. We won't mind. Probably not talking about the game anyway, so let's be honest. But we'll talk about it. I'll have a story. And then we'll go forward from there. The other thing that I have coming tomorrow, got a chance to catch up with Joey Decord, former Arizona State goaltender and now Seattle Kraken goaltender. They'll be here Friday. I also spoke to his dad, Brian Decord, who was the director of goaltending for the Coyotes for a year. Both great interviews. I'm expecting Joey to be in goal against the Coyotes. It's not his first time, obviously, at Mullet Arena, but I always think about the guys that came before Mullet Arena, the guys that helped get it built at Arizona State. Joey Decord is definitely one of those people, and his rise.
His story is unbelievable.
It's an incredible story. I had a great talk with both him and his dad. talked to Ricky Olchek this morning, who's the assistant GM of the Seattle Kraken. We'll have an audio pod of that up soon too, PD. And I talked about that, and Leah pieced it together because there were some audio issues. She did surgery on it, and
hopefully you don't even notice.
Yeah. She's a plastic surgeon, so all of that. So I'll have a piece up on Joey Decord as well.
Awesome. Well, yeah, all things Seattle tomorrow. Make sure you check out that audio pod wherever you get your podcasts early tomorrow morning. It'll be up. And then check out the article, gophnx.com. And then we'll be live after that game tomorrow night on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel, breaking it down or not. We'll see, depending on how we feel, depending on what else goes on. But you all know that we're here to talk about anything Coyotes related, whether it's the game itself or the off the ice stuff. I'll put it at that. But we appreciate you all so much for being here. Thank you for your participation today.
Yeah, thanks for playing.
That was a lot of fun. We really appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up on this video. If you're listening later, you have FOMO on the non-game days. We're live at 2 p.m. on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. If you hit the notification bell, you'll never miss when we go live. You can follow us on Twitter at Leah Merrill, at Craig S. Morgan, at S. Peters Hockey, at Abrica Danielle, the real MVP of the day.
Amen.
Shout out Danielle. That was amazing.
Big time.
And you can follow the show at PHNX_Coyotes. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, everybody. Enjoy March Madness, and we will see you all tomorrow night.
We all silly like the mayor.